Hello citizens of our nation, RAWR here, and today we're going to be talking about the highly anticipated DC Comics film, Justice League. Now, I know that this film has some very mixed opinions as of right now, but I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, I thoroughly enjoyed the film. Yes, there are some pretty glaring issues with the movie, but generally, I had a fun time with it. And to me personally, the positives outweigh the negatives. So let's get right into it. The main reason as to why this film works for me is the Justice League itself. I mean, the team is fantastic. They were so much fun to watch. The film stars Ben Affleck as Batman, Henry Cavill as Superman, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, Ezra Miller as The Flash, Jason Momoa as Aquaman, and Ray Fisher as a Cyborg. And in that group of people, there isn't a single bad egg. The performances are pretty much spot on. But even more important than that, this cast has such fantastic chemistry together. The real joy in this film was just watching all of these characters together, and I'm not just talking about the action sequences either. While the action scenes were pretty damn entertaining, to me, the real joy of this movie came in the scenes when all the characters are just sitting down, just hanging out, and interacting with each other. The dialogue between them is very clever and witty at times, and they throw a lot of one-liners at each other that will definitely get a laugh out of audiences. The whole dynamic of this team, it really feels like, for example, you and your old college roommates. Maybe when you get together years later for a reunion and you just laugh at each other, you make fun of each other, you hang out, you have a good time, and you also annoy each other and piss each other off, but at the end of the day, you still love each other because you are a family working towards the same goal. That is what all of these characters together felt like to me, and the fact that they all worked so well in the quieter scenes just made it all the more satisfying when a big action scene came up and you got to watch them all working together and kicking some ass. The individual characters themselves were really well done. Ben Affleck's Batman was pretty much one of the only good things about Batman vs. Superman, and I was so glad to see that Batman back again. Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman isn't only my favorite character in the movie, but she has been my favorite character in the DCEU thus far, and she does not disappoint. Ezra Miller as the Flash, he had some fantastic standout moments that everyone in the audience at the screening that I went to absolutely loved, and he is freaking awesome. I think you guys are gonna love him. And while I feel that Aquaman and Cyborg were a bit underdeveloped, they served their purpose, not just in the team, but in this movie as a whole. Jason Momoa, he also had some really cool standout moments as Aquaman. And Ray Fisher, mind you, this guy is a newcomer. I believe this is his very first movie ever. He was a Broadway actor, I believe, and he did a very solid job as Cyborg. Now believe me, it's a great thing that the film got the team right, that the film got all the individual characters right, that the action scenes were pretty good, and that the acting was really solid, because sadly, that is where the positives for this film end. Now let me start off by saying that, unfortunately, the film's plot is very weak, very uninspired, very boring, very uninteresting. Oh, a random bad guy comes to Earth and he wants to take over the world and destroy it for no fucking reason, so now it's up to our heroes to save the day. That is a plot that we have seen millions of times before, and unfortunately Justice League does not bring anything new to the table in regards to that. You're not given any reason at all as to why the film's villain wants to take over the world and destroy it and defeat the Justice League. He just literally just wants to do it for no reason because he just got bored on a random Tuesday at 2 p.m. Speaking of the villain, Steppenwolf, I actually believe that Steppenwolf is worse than Hela from Thor Ragnarok. And if you saw my Thor Ragnarok review, you'll know that I did not like Hela. And in fact, I've been reading online, there are some people saying that Steppenwolf is even worse than Malekith from Thor the Dark World. And if you know anything about comic book movies, you know that that's pretty fucking insulting. The problem with Steppenwolf is that he wasn't menacing at all, he wasn't scary, and as an audience member, I did not feel threatened by him, not even once. It really didn't feel like there was anything at stake, and for a movie of this size and this scale, with some of the most popular superheroes, that is disappointing. And to add to the character of Steppenwolf, you know pretty much nothing about him. I mean, they do explain a tiny bit of backstory, but for the most part, you don't know anything about him as a character. You don't know what his motivations are. You don't know why he wants to do what he's trying to do. You don't know why he's trying to kill the Justice League. You don't know anything, really. And I feel that that's something rather important, not just when it comes to villains, but when it comes to any character in general in movies. Because it's when you know the characters well, that's when you are invested in the movie. And whether or not you like the characters, you will be invested in their story, in their struggles, and you will want to know what happens to them. Another thing in the movie that isn't really explained too well is the whole concept of the mother boxes. So in order to destroy the world, Steppenwolf must get his hands on these 3 mother boxes, and I don't know what the mother boxes are for, to be honest. And I'm sure that there are so many of you DC Comics fans who will easily understand the mother boxes if you know the concept, you know their importance and all of that. But I'm talking about for a general moviegoer who doesn't know anything about DC Comics. You will be lost, probably. I like DC Comics, I like several of their characters, I read several issues myself. But I know nothing about the mother boxes, so a little bit more explanation would have helped. A lot of people have also said things about the look of Steppenwolf, cause let's face it, Steppenwolf is an all CGI character. And personally, I did not mind the look of Steppenwolf, but I will say that the CGI on Cyborg was garbage. Pretty much every scene that had Cyborg in it, I was just distracted by how awful the CGI was. I mean, the Cyborg, he looked like a character from a freaking video game. And that took me out of the movie every single time. And that really sucks because, like I said before, Cyborg was a good character. Ray Fisher did a good job playing him. However, this CGI, it was laughable. You know? Another thing in regards to CGI, I'm not even gonna say it because if you've seen any other reviews or if you've read anything at all about this film, you probably know what I'm talking about right now. But I'm just gonna leave it at this. The very first scene that Superman is in, take a good look at his mouth. You may or may not notice something that is pretty fucking weird and funny. Overall, Justice League is a flawed film that fortunately is saved by the dynamic of the team, the great characters, the great acting, and some pretty fun action scenes. So, I gotta say, I had a fun time with the movies, I enjoyed it. On my rating scale, Justice League gets a 7.5 out of 10. So, Justice League, have you guys seen it? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Or do you want to see it? Why not? Comment down below. Let me know. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe today for more content. Farewell, citizens of our nation. Catch you all next time.